Hello, my viewers and subscribers. Welcome to another episode of Jamaica Politics Uncovered. New subscribers, welcome. Returning subscribers, welcome back. So, guys, today we're going to talk about Vybz Kartel and his denial of bail yesterday. As you guys know, Vybz Kartel was convicted of the homicide along with some co-accused in the death of Clive Williams, aka Lizard. After over a decade, Vybz Kartel's appeal was heard in the final court at the Privy Council. The result of the Privy Council was to send back the case to the appeal court in Jamaica to make a decision on it. The Privy Council pointed out some issues, and these were the issues that Vybz Kartel's lawyers appealed in Jamaica. One of them was that Vybz Kartel did not get a fair trial because when the juror tried to bribe and corrupt the rest of the jury, the judge allowed the same tainted jury to make the decision in the case. Plus, they were given time constraints, which would have put pressure on them to come to a verdict. Plus, there were some other breaches that the Privy Council pointed out. Now, there has been some misconception and some confusion about the Privy Council's ruling. I remember when the Privy Council ruled, you had some people saying, Kartel's case was overturned and him is not considered a convicted felon anymore and the charges are not valid anymore. I think even his attorney said that he has a clean slate. I remember seeing that somewhere. That was misleading because if that was the case, then the Privy Council would have ordered an acquittal and release. I don't know how many people expected the judge to give Kartel bail yesterday. I didn't think that it would happen only because there's already a date set for the appeal court to respond. Plus, if there's not an acquittal, then the verdict is still valid until the appeal court in Jamaica respond to what the Privy Council ordered them to do, which is to either correct the court's mistake by doing a retrial or letting the men go. That is for the appellate court in Jamaica to do. So to go and ask for bail now, I think it was not such a good idea. But if that's what the client ordered the attorney to do, then they would have to do what they're asked to do. Although with their legal knowledge in a situation like this or any other, they can give their opinion, based on their legal knowledge, and then the client will decide if they want to go ahead with it or not. So the judge yesterday, she denied the bail application, and she also gave a lengthy response in terms of why she did it. So Supreme Court Judge Justice Andrea Thomas, in rejecting the habeas corpus application brought by Isaac Buchanan, the attorney for Vybz Kartel, and two of his three co-accused, maintained that their present custodial status is not in breach of the Constitution. Appearing to chide the lawyer, she told him that such an application cannot be used to circumvent the correct procedure just to facilitate the desire for a more expeditious outcome. End of quote. Buchanan, the lead attorney representing the men, had on May 13th filed the application in the Supreme Court in downtown Kingston, seeking to have the judge make an order for the men to be brought before the court for it to be determined if they were to be released or granted bail. Released, guys, or granted bail. Just like I said, that's not what was ordered by the Privy Council. Privy Council sent them back to the appeal court. That's where things should move forward, right? The Apex Court ordered the case remitted to Jamaica's Court of Appeal for it to decide whether a retrial is necessary for Kartel and his co-accused. The lawyer Buchanan, in his submission to the court, argued, among other things, that there was no order by the Privy Council for the continued detention of the men, and as such, they should be released. The case had received an expedited hearing at the Privy Council on the basis that Kartel has a life-threatening disease. But Justice Thomas on Thursday, in a written ruling, said she was of the view that, quote, in the instant case, in the absence of the verdict of acquittal by the Privy Council, the charge of homicide against the applicants remain in effect, awaiting the decision of the Court of Appeal. And she's right, it's just that simple. While Buchanan's argument that there is no order to hold the men, there is no order, he said, for detention, they should be released. The Privy Council could have gone ahead and released them. The Privy Council could have said, listen, you're acquitted, go home. But they did not do that. They want Jamaica's Court of Appeal to address the matter of the breach of cartel's constitutional right. That is what the Privy Council wants the Court of Appeal of Jamaica to deal with. And that is what they must deal with. And they must decide how they want to deal with it. Whether they are going to do a retrial, and if not, let them go. So basically, guys, the truth of the matter is the position that the Privy Council took is that there's a strong enough case before the court regarding the whole matter of Lizard and stuff. And at the same time, they're acknowledging that some breaches were done, right? So then basically put that back in a Jamaica Court of Appeal. And I don't think they wanted to be the one to rule an acquittal. They don't want to be the one to do that because there is a strong enough case. When you hear the evidence, then where the prosecutor over UK read out, you understand? The phone evidence and all the text and stuff, they feel like there was a strong case to be answered too. But at the same time, they are saying, look here, Jamaica, on a breach of constitutional right within the process. So you must now figure out how you want to deal with this. Justice Thomas continued, and she made reference to the 2022 Act of Jamaica. She said, under the Act, 2023 Act, not only would the applicants have to be on bail prior to the convictions, but the applicants are also excluded from consideration for bail if convicted for the offense of murder and any of the specified offenses in the schedule of the Act. In view of the fact that their appeal is not yet determined, Parliament has provided that they should remain in custody until their appeal is concluded. That is until the question as to whether a verdict of acquittal should be entered or an order for retrial is determined by the Court of Appeal. She concluded, the convictions of the applicants have been set aside, but no order for an acquittal has been entered. As long as the charge remains, it cannot be said that the Superintendent of Prisons is acting in contravention. He has not received any order that would form the basis for a release. The application is denied, she said. So, the lawyer for Cartel and the co-accused said, grateful, my lady, and thank you for schooling me today. Might I take my leave, my lady? Were the only words uttered by Isaac Buchanan following the ruling. He left the Supreme Court hastily without addressing journalists. Meanwhile, a highly placed law enforcer welcomed the decision, saying it was a toast to Jamaica's legislatures. Speaking to the Jamaica Observer on condition of being anonymous, the source said the judge's decision was not surprising. We knew from the beginning that there was no verdict of acquittal entered in England. The case was just squashed, and there was no verdict of acquittal. The court in Jamaica could not let the men go. Quote, we knew it could not be done because what has happened? Some tweaking has been going on with the lawmakers due to the state of our country. Nobody has any respect for life anymore, so they try to put some teeth in the law, which is very good, and we do appreciate that. Today, is a win-win for the government, for every family in the country, the journalist, every law-abiding citizen in the country, he told the Observer. Meanwhile, two bloggers, one British, who were among the boisterous crowd gathered at the back entrance of the Supreme Court on the misguided notion that the men were inside the building, rued the outcome. A world boss, him for free now, him do enough time. Them don't have anything on him. Doing so much time and no evidence, him innocent. They need to free world boss. Him do enough time, one of them declared. The two said they are anticipating the ruling of the appeal court, which is to begin hearing submission on June 10th. Acquittal or no retrial, they said. The truth of the matter is the victory for Cartel going to the Privy Council is that his claim that he was denied a fair trial was correct. You understand? And he won that part of it, was that his claim was heard and it will be addressed. That's what Cartel won. Cartel didn't won in terms of being acquitted and stuff like that. So he's just going to have to wait until June and see what the appeal court is going to do. And his lawyers are just going to have to do their best. You're watching Jamaica Politics Uncovered. Keep it locked here.